I'm back. I'm going to pull up a Word document so I can answer. And by the way, this is a long webinar. Looks like everyone pretty much stay on the whole time. I mean, it's very important information. What you learn today can make a huge difference in your life if you really understand the importance of it. And honestly, no one does. Most attorneys never do. If I look at thousands of resumes, almost no one, very few people ever learn all this information. So it's pretty cool that you are today. So I congratulate you for learning all this information. Let me see. Okay. One question. So I'm going to start quite a few questions. Let me see here. Not that many. So the first question is, in what ways, this is a larger list here. In what ways can attorneys maintain meaningful personal relationship and go back and exchange business cards? No. So you don't exchange business cards. You get a business card and then you connect with the people in whatever way you need to, on whether it's on LinkedIn or whatever, and then you stay in touch with them. You take their email and you send them a message saying, it was nice meeting you. You learn about things that they might be interested in. Once you connect with them, sometimes you meet someone and they say that they're interested in such and such, or they're doing such and such. And so you forward things to them and become a source of someone that can help them. You learn about information that could help them. So one of the interesting things about a lot of attorneys that I know that have developed good books of business is when they meet people, they find things that they can do to help them. I don't know how to explain it, but maybe they meet someone that's working in a company and that person loses their job, but then they help them network into another job that they know about, working for one of their clients or something, and that person owes them something. So they always stay in touch with people, and they do their best to keep the connection alive, and they don't just look at someone as a business card, and they don't just try to get someone business from the person or a referral from the person right away. They build value so that value is reciprocated. And that is really the most important thing. Next question. I'm sorry. What role does mentorship play in attorney networking, and how can attorneys find and cultivate meaningful mentor relationships in their careers? Yeah. So mentors are people that will train a young attorney, and typically the attorney will work for them, or that mentor will help them avoid problems or issues. In a lot of firms, attorneys are assigned mentors sometimes when they start, and that mentor is supposed to take them out to lunch and do all that sort of thing, which is fine. But sometimes those mentors will help the person, other times they won't. Typically, the mentor that you should find in a law firm or any employer is someone that you respect, something in them in terms of their work or the way they approach problems or the way they generate business or whatever that you respect, and you let them know that you really respect what they're doing, and you think that they're really top notch. And because you're able to do that, those people are much more likely to want to work with you, and it's people that you respect, not just these kind of phony relationships with people that you connect with on some level and or respect, and they understand that. So again, this putting my hair over my eyes because people don't understand this. You need mentors. Whoever hires you, if it's a small law firm, should be your mentor. Everyone needs mentors, and having mentors is extremely important. It can get you into law school. It can get you into college. It can get you your first job and get you your next job, because mentors will help you. They will find things for you to do. If you lose your job, they will steer you in the right direction. They will use their contacts for you. So a mentor is incredibly important. And when you get a mentor, it's not just that you find someone that will be your mentor. You have to connect with a mentor on some level, meaning you have to like something about them. You have to respect something about them. You have to let them know that you see that in them and really care about them. I've had a couple of mentors in my career. One of the best mentors I had was a guy named Chet Holmes, who wrote this book, The Ultimate Sales Machine. That became like a bestseller, and had this business where he was working with Tony Robbins but what he did is I met him, and just he'd come up and given a talk at some sort of seminar, and then talked about how he had helped Charlie Munger, who is dead now, but he was worked directly with, he was Warren Buffett's partner, and he'd gone there and done all this incredible stuff. So I came up and told him how much I respected him. And then he had some course he was selling for $3,000. I bought it, and then I read cover to cover. I called him. I told him how incredible it was, and how much I respected his work. Then I hired him to come into my company and do some work. But it was he was a mentor, and then he became a mentor, and then I became friends with him. Then I started doing things with him, and he would always look out for me and ask questions about me and tell me I'm sure he respected me and refer people to me. So it was just, when you find a mentor, it's usually someone who you definitely respect. My mentor in high school that helped me get into schools was, I respected him because he was a PhD in English and very, very smart and very interesting to listen to, and became a mentor. So in college, same thing. I had a professor that was like, you can't just take all this stuff you're learning and think you can just write about it forever. You should do something about it. So I started businesses that were employing people that couldn't get jobs in Detroit. And so all these things, so mentors will respect you based on some sort of identification with them. And that's how you get mentors. You tell them why you respect them and you make them feel respect. And this Chet Holmes guy, I don't think anybody had ever tell him how much they liked their work and how great it was, but I did. And that, I think, made him very happy and helped. And next question. As the legal industry evolves, what new networking trends or tools should attorneys be aware of to stay competitive and connected in professional circles? You can certainly use LinkedIn, and there's networking groups for most practice areas. There's networking groups for attorneys in different cities. But the most important thing that I would recommend is just to stay connected to people that you're working with, and then also to meet people and get out there and meet people and be seen as an attorney. The best attorneys never ask for work. They're just, when people have things to do, they think of them. So you have to be visible, but you have to be visible as a person. Being on a Zoom call and being in some random place it's not going to make you visible. What's going to make you visible is your ability to be seen by people personally, and then to develop relationships personally, and to meet people and learn about them, and not ask for business. I mean, you have to provide value, like some side, help people with information or things before you would ever want to help them. I remember a random story that I was in Detroit and I was working as a asphalt contractor when I was younger, and I started in high school and I did it actually all through law school. And crazy because I huge networks of people. I knew all these other people, but what I noticed in terms of that business, even how many networks that I was able to develop to do all sorts of things, to sell the business, to do all these, to interview law firms in Detroit, do all these things just based on a network, and to learn about different jobs and things. It was all ultimately about networking, and that network, even to this day, there's people I could go know that I meet and stuff that I haven't stayed in contact with, but it's very helpful and can make a big difference. Okay, what are some of the common networking mistakes? Okay, so the most common networking mistakes that attorneys make when they're young in their careers, and the dumbest ones, are focusing on money, resenting employers, lawyers, meaning they think that that person, whatever, that someone owes them something, whatever, resenting clients, resenting peers. These are things that people do. Peers, not doing the wrong, I don't know, not being trustworthy, all those sorts of things. So most attorneys actually fail at a lot of different things when they're young attorneys, and the ones that don't are typically do the best. So I'll just show this to everyone. I knew I was going to talk about this today. Okay, so this is just an interview preparation guide that I send to attorneys. It really talks about, this is just some stuff to read. If you write down this, it's called The Message to Garcia in Your Legal Career, something like that. That's an article that I wrote on my blog. It's interesting. It talks about just getting things done and so forth. But the most important thing for any sort of interview is people want to know you're going to do the job. People want to know that you're going to commit. People want to know that you can be managed, and people want the job. But it's also one of the things, being likable. This is what people get why people get jobs, why people get referrals, and why people advance in legal careers, by being likable. So there's an article here somewhere, it's BCG, but it's called, just tell you the title. When a law firm considers who it wants to interview and hire, multiple blasts, do we like this attorney? Yeah. So this is one of the things, and I'm going to try to put on the chat here, but can I use the chat? I'm going to see here. No, it doesn't look like it. But one of the biggest things is, I'll just put the article title up here. It's called When a law firm wants to hire you, a law firm considers who wants to interview and hire, multiple glass to licensed attorneys. When you go into any interview, you have to be likable. You're not just there to do the work. You're there to be, people are going to hire the people that they like the best. And that's just how it works. And so you need to do your best to make people like you, to connect with them, to figure out how to do that, because that's ultimately what gets the job. People aren't going to hire people that they don't like. I had this experience. It was interesting. It was several years ago, and I was interviewing this woman, and I was doing like a preparation, like to represent her to different firms. And I was talking to her, and I think she was in Detroit or something, or outside Detroit. And I was talking to her, and I was trying to ask her questions about her personal life, meaning, do you like to play any sports? Nothing about why did you want to become an attorney and all that stuff. And she said, I don't need to answer these questions. No one cares about that. They just care whether or not she had a pretty good background. She majored in electrical engineering. She said, I don't need to answer these questions. No one cares about it. All it is about me doing the work. But that's all the firms care about. And there's like, no, it's not. If I'm going to represent you, I need to make you personalize you. And law firms are going to want to hear that sort of information. She said, no, they don't. The only thing I need is to get the job, is to have the qualifications, and that's all they care about. And I got her. It was on the phone. I was like, can't work with you. I don't know why it is. I don't feel very comfortable about that, because you need to be personal. And she was unemployed too. She was unemployed and had been started off in a national firm, maybe in Chicago, and then moved to, I don't know, another smaller firm and somewhere, and then had been unemployed for a while. And I was like, Jeff, something feels off. And I got off the phone. I just felt like really weird. And I decided to look her up and see what was going on with her. Who was this person? And when I looked her up, there were just like all these instances of her suing her former law firm, this big law firm, and losing, and with incredible basis, like no basis in fact for this law firm being sued. And then there was other articles about her suing hair salons for not treating her hair right or something, and other lawsuits that she filed on all these different things. And I was like, wow, this is what's going on. And so no connection, just think, the only thing they want to do is for the work. That's all I want to see. And that's the exact opposite. Like that. And that's a big mistake that so many attorneys make, is they think that employers are just going to hire the best and most qualified person, and that's all that matters. And no, law firms hire the people they like the best, and the people they like the best are going to be able to make a connection. And the connection's even stronger if they're referred by someone. So everything is about connection. And that's what's missing. Like, people want connection. It's not true connection, chatting with someone over SMS or some social networking setting. Connection is when you sit down with someone, you identify with them, and you appreciate them, and they learn something about you. And then you stay in touch with them, and you make them like you. I mean, that's what connection is. And that's what everybody wants. Most people feel disconnected. You go home and you if you are not married, you sit in front of the television, and you go to work, or you read a book, and you go to work, and you feel everyone's competitive with you, and you're scared, and people are giving you work, and so everybody wants connection. Even partners want connection. Everybody wants connection. Some people use alcohol to go out and to connect with people, or drugs, or they self-medicate, or they go and they get pills for various things, and because they don't feel good and they're disconnected. But people feel good when they are connected. And connection is really the most important aspect of your career, because when you connect with people that are inside companies, you do well. I was talking to this guy a couple of days ago, and you're talking to him all week. I talk to him consistently, and he's this guy that he's young. He's been practicing for maybe 3 years, and it's a very interesting way to look at things. He's been practicing for maybe 3 or 4 years. He's done a series of these federal clerkships, district court, a couple of circuit court. He's been out a while, but he's managed to bring in these clients, and he met them just surfing, like surfing in Nicaragua and things like that. He just met these clients, and anyway, he met these clients surfing. They certainly don't even have the type of work that he does. He's a litigator, and they have this type of corporate work. But he brought them in and to his firm, and he's referred them to other attorneys in this firm. And it's several of these people, like 3 or 4, and it brings in over $1 million a year. And he brought them in pretty quickly, within just random surfing, meeting these people. And I asked him, how often do you tell these people? He said, I call them every week. And he's just calling these clients every week. And then he's calling these other people that he's met, just these potential clients. They're calling potential clients and talking to them every week. And this is what the best attorneys do. I met this guy a couple of years ago, and a very successful real estate developer. And he's doing the same thing. He's got an attorney that works for him, and that attorney was coming over to all of his parties and being around all the time and meeting him. This is what the best real estate agents do. They go out and they're connecting with people. They're not just setting a sign out there and hoping to get business. They're going out and they're networking, and they're doing everything that they can. That's the missing ingredient. And the most successful ones make millions of dollars a year, but it's all because of connections. And connection is the thing that most people are missing. And I'm not saying that I'm a complete expert in it either, because if I were better at it, I'd probably be much more successful. But it's the most important thing that you can possibly do is to get this connection. Okay, so this question is, what are some key strategies for introverted attorneys to navigate and succeed in networking events and opportunities? The most important strategies are to just get involved in different places. Even if you're introverted, it doesn't matter. I've told this before, but there was an attorney, Bill Urquhart, who in Emmanuel, he's no longer alive, but he once said the biggest nerd in LA also has the most business. So there are other introverted people that are part of different groups. So sometimes it's patent attorneys that are introverted. It could be different types of litigators that are appellate attorneys. Whatever you are, you need to network and find people that share your interests. Maybe you like to play chess. So you can belong to chess clubs, or maybe you like to play bridge. You can play bridge with people or whatever. You can always succeed by networking with people that are like you. You don't have to, by any stretch of the imagination, do anything unrelated to network related to that. How can attorneys leverage online platforms with social media to expand their professional network effectively? You can connect with people on LinkedIn that are in your industry. That if you work on lemon law, you can find, attorney. You can do whatever you do. You can find people that could be interested in what you do, and you could start adding information to your profile and so forth that is articles or connections, or you forward articles related to what you do. You would just build on that. You learn how to do social media. I'm not an expert in social media, but you figure out how to expand your platforms. You read about it, you study it, and you just become good at it like anything. But I think that platforms like that are great. Whatever you can do to have people know you and put your name out there and be seen is important. I know actually this one attorney was telling me, I think this is interesting, when he's trying to interview attorneys, whether it's for an associate or any type of position that he's interviewing people, he always looks at their LinkedIn and how many connections they have. And if they don't have a lot of connections, then this person's probably not going to be someone I want to hire. So I think he would say something like they must have at least 80 connections or something like that. So you should try to develop different types of connections on LinkedIn. I don't personally use LinkedIn as much as I should because I'm doing all this recruiting related work, but that can be very helpful. Okay, thank you everyone for being on this webinar. I don't think there's any more questions. I just want to reiterate how important this information is and how much you should be using these networks in your career and thinking about it. I do believe that 50% of your career is based on the work you do, but the other 50% and how far you go will be based on how well you're doing these network related opportunities. Again, so thank you for being on this webinar, and I will hopefully be back next week with more stuff.